The suffix onym, in English and other languages, means word name, and words ending in onym refer to a specified kind of name or word, most of which are classical compounds. For example, an acronym is a word formed from the initial letter or letters of each of the successive parts or major parts of a compound term. The use of onym words provides a means of classifying, often to a fine degree of resolution, sets of nouns with common attributes. In some words, the onym form has been modified by replacing the o. In the examples anonym and metonym, the correct forms were preoccupied by other meanings. Other, late 20th century examples, such as hypernym and characternym, are typically incorrectly formed neologisms for which there are more traditional words formed in onym. The English suffix onym is from the ancient Greek suffix omega nu upsilon mu omicron nu, neuter of the suffix omega nu upsilon mu omicron sigma, having a specified kind of name. For the Greek nu omicron mu alpha aolic Greek nu upsilon mu alpha name. The form onymous is that taken by onoma when it is the end component of a Bahuvihi compound, but in English its use is extended to tapa-usa compounds. The suffix is found in many modern languages with various spellings. Examples are Dutch synonym, German synonym, Portuguese synonymo, Russian, Polish synonym, Finnish synonymy, Indonesian synonym. According to a 1988 study of words ending in onym, there are 4 discernible classes of onym words: historic, classic, or, for want of better terms, naturally occurring or common words, scientific terminology, occurring in particular in linguistics, onomastics, etc. Language games are nonce words. Older terms are known to gain new, sometimes contradictory, meanings. In many cases, 2 or more words describe the same phenomenon, but no precedence is discernible. New words are sometimes created, the meaning of which duplicating existing terms. On occasion, new words are formed with little regard to historical principles. Words that end in onym. Acronym, considered to be a word in its original sense formed from the initials of one or more words that is pronounceable like a normal word, such as NATO, sometimes in distinction to initialism, reflecting a historical development from its component word initials. Allonym, an author's name of another person's, often a well-known person's, name, an alternative term for a pseudonym. Anacronym, an acronym that is so well established that its origin as an abbreviation is no longer widely known. For example, scuba and laser, historically an acronym whose component initials are in danger of no longer being recognized. Andronym, a man's name or a word derived from a man's name, the name of the husband, taken on by the wife, a male name adopted by a woman. Anonym, something created anonymously, or its creator, an unknown author. This term now generally replaced by pseudonym. Anapronym, a portmanteau of an acronym and eponym, an original eponym of a trademark term that becomes so well established that it is used to define other objects that share its own definition. Anthroponym, a name of a human being as reflected in surnames or proper names of people. Antonym, a word with the exact opposite meaning of another word. An antithesis are often shown in opposite word pairs such as high and low. Apronym, a word which is an acronym or backronym, has a meaning related to the meaning of the words constituting the acronym or backronym, such as Plato for programmed logic for automated teaching, alluding to Plato, the philosopher and teacher. Aptronym, a name appropriate to its owner's occupation or physical properties, such as goldsmith or longman, coined by Franklin P. Adams. Astronym, a name of a star. Autonym, botanical nomenclature for an automatically created name. Acronym, an ordinary word understood as an acronym, such as Fiat understood as Fix It Again Tomorrow. Onym, the first name published for a biological taxon, which remains the defining name for the taxon even when the taxon has been transferred to a new name. Acronym, a bad name, either from poor formation or unpleasantness. Capitonym, a word that changes its meaning when it is capitalized, such as March and Marcher. Polish and Polish. Characteronym, a name of a fictional character reflected in his personality traits, such as Shakespeare's Pistolobottom. Crematonym, a name of a politico-economic, a commercial or cultural institution of thing, a catch-all category. Chresonym, vowel, use of a taxonomic name, historically sometimes referred to as a synonym, sometimes divided into orthochasonyms and heterochasonyms. Consonym, a word that has the same consonants as another word, in the same order, ignoring all vowels. And a consonym is the same concept in an opposite order. Language Game 1979 by Gary Pisher. To be specific, originally, such a word constructed phonetically. Revised rules by Philip M. Cohen always consider, with and y consonants. B. Such a word constructed alphabetically, sometimes distinguished as strict consonant, where y is always a consonant, and permissive consonant, where y is always a vowel. Contronym or antagonym or autoantonym, a word that may have opposite meanings in different contexts, such as cleave meaning stick together or split apart. Cryptonym, a code name, a word, a name used clandestinely to refer to another name or word. Demonym, a name derived from a place name for residents of that place, coined by George H. Sheets, according to Paul Dixon in What Do You Call a Person From? A dictionary of resident names. The term first appeared in print in 1988 in Names, a descriptive and prescriptive onymicon by George H. Sheets. See also taxonym. Endonym, a self-assigned name by locals of a place, also known as an autonym. Eponym, a botanical, zoological, artwork, or place name that derives from a real or legendary person, a name for a real or hypothetical person from whom a botanical, geographical, artwork as zoological name is derived, a person after whom a medical condition is named, or the condition so named. A type of taxonym. Ergonym, sometimes used for the name of an institution or commercial firm. Ethnonym, a name of an ethnic group. A type of taxonym. Exonym, a name used by one group of people for another group but who call themselves by a different name, such as Germans for Deutsche, a place name used by one group that differs from the name used by the people who live there, such as Cologne for Köln. Geonym, a name of a geographic feature. Glossonym, a glottonym, a name of a language. Heterochassynym, see chresonym. Heteronym, a word that is spelled in the same way as another but that has a different sound and meaning. For example, bow as in bow of a ship, or bow and arrow. Hodonym, a name of a street or road. Holonym, a word for the whole of which other words are part, in the way house contains roof, door and window, or car contains steering wheel and engine. Homonym, a word pronounced like another, but differing in meaning, a derivation or spelling, also known as homophone. A word spelled like another, but differing in derivation or meaning, a pronunciation, also known as homography. Heteronym. Compare or tantonym, contronym, and heteronym. See a word spelled and pronounced like another, but differing in meaning. 2. A namesake. 3. Vowel, a taxonomic designation that is identical to another one of the same rank, but based on a different type. Only one of the homonyms is considered a valid designation. Compare to synonym. Hydronym, a name of river, lake, or other body of water. Hyponym, sometimes spelled hyperonym, a generic word that stands for a class or group of equally ranked items, such as tree for beech or elm, or house for chalet or bungalow. A hyponym is said to be superordinate to a hyponym. Hypoconym, a hypochoristic, a colloquial, usually unofficial, name of an entity, a pet name or nickname. Hyponym, an item that belongs to and is equally ranked in a generic class or group. For example, lily or violet in the class of flowers, or limousine or hatchback in the class of automobiles. A hyponym is said to be subordinate to a hyperonym. Isonym 1. A word having the same root of stem as another, also known as paronym. Compare exonym, heteronym, paronym, and synonym. 2. One person's surname that is the same as another person's surname. 3. Biol, a taxonomic designation that is identical to another designation and based on the same type, but published at a different time by the same or other authors. Meronym, a word that names a part that belongs to and is therefore subordinate to a larger entity, a part-whole relationship, such as door or window in house, or engine or steering wheel in car. Metonym, a word that substitutes a part for the whole it is associated with. For example, crown. For monarch, metonymy is the figure of speech incorporating a metonym. Matronym, a matronymic, a name of a human being making reference to that person's mother. Mononym, a word indicating the single name as generally applied to people, e.g. Madonna or Plato. Microtoponym, a word indicating an uninhabited place, cf. toponym. Necronym, a reference to a name of a person who has died. Numeronym is a number-based word. Odonym, a name of a street or road. Oikonym or oeconym, a name of a house or other building. Oronym 1. A name of a hill, mountain, or mountain range. 2. A neologism for homophonic words or phrases. Orthochrononym, see chrononym. Pedonymic, a name adopted from one's child's name, as in the kunya of Islamic names, or when one is identified by means of one's child's name. Paronym, a word that is related to another word and derives from the same root, a cognate word, such as dubious and doubtful. Patronym or patronymic, a name adopted from the father's or ancestor's name, for example, Johnson from John, MacDonald from Donald, O'Brien from Brian, or Ivanovich from Ivan. Phytonym, a name of a plant. Plesionym, a near synonym, word that is almost synonymous with another word, but not quite. Pseudonym, a false and fictitious name, especially one adopted by an author, a pen name. Retronym, a compound of modified noun that replaces an original simple noun. For example, analog watch now means what watch used to mean before the invention of the digital watch, and motorcycles became solo motorcycles, when others were built with sidecars. Synonym 1. A word equivalent in meaning in Elisa to another word, a word that may be substituted for another word that has the same or a similar meaning, such as near and close. 2. In biology, one or more names given to the same taxon, and so considered equivalent. Usually only one of them is considered as correct, while the other are considered deprecated. Tautonym, a binomial, a scientific name in the taxonomy of living things in which the generic and specific names are the same, such as gorilla, a scientific name in which the specific name is repeated, such as Homo sapiens, sapiens as distinct from Homo sapiens neanderthalensis, a noun component that is repeated, such as a tom-tom, a personal name where both forename and surname are identical, such as Francis. Taxonym, a name used for classification or identification purposes, usually signifying a relationship to something. Taxonyms include binomens, names of clades or taxons, demonyms, ethnonyms, and eponyms. Examples include canine, hominid, and dryad. Textonym, a word that is generated by a single sequence of numerals keyed into a mobile telephone. For example, 726 produces Pam, Ram, Sam, and Ran, also called homonumeric words. Theonym, a name of a god. The names societies give the gods at times is useful in understanding the origin of the language as well as the view of a particular deity. Analysis of theonyms has been useful in understanding the connections of Indo-European languages, and possibly the religions in particular. In Abrahamic faith, the origin and meaning of the Tetragrammaton is sometimes deemed to have important historical or even metaphysical meaning. Theonym, a name, especially a product name, that has been derived from the name of an animal. Toponym, a place, geographical name, the name of an area of the body, as distinguished from the name of an organ. Troponym, a verb conveying a meaning that is a particular case of the meaning of another verb. For example, to duel is a troponym of to fight, to write is a troponym of to communicate, etc. Zoonym, a name of an animal.